The theme song of Studio Ghibli's Whisper of the Heart. Country Road. Did you know its lyrics are completely different from John Denver's original? In the original, it sings, "Take me back to my hometown." But in Miyazaki's hands, it was rewritten as "Live Tough on the Concrete Road." Hidden in this rewrite was a major declaration from the Miyazaki who completed the manga Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. John Denver's original, its hidden bittersweet story. The female chorus is mysterious, now sung only in his version, and the answer the master reached during his wandering era. After completing his triangle, Toshio Okada decodes it all.
Now, here begins the free portion of the video. Today's free topic is the mystery of the theme song from Whisper of the Heart, Country Road. I want to talk a bit about it. I'm not sure 30 minutes will be enough, but let's enjoy the conversation. I have a feeling this is going to run long. The opening of Whisper of the Heart suddenly begins with a song. I just saw a comment asking about John Denver. Yes, that's right. John Denver released this song in 1971. But the version actually used in the film is the 1973 Olivia Newton-John version. Well then, let's get started. Alright, let's jump straight into the main content. The opening of Whisper of the Heart is suddenly a night view Tama Hills, Tokyo suburb, called Saiseki Sakuragaoka. That's what's shown. And then a female chorus sings, "Country roads, take me home," booming through. The camera pans down, showing a flowing river with a bridge. And a train passes over that bridge. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country Roads, the song plays. This song, Country Roads, Take Me Home, is by John Denver, the famous American country music. Actually, not just country music. He's like a master of pop. That guy. During a confused period of his life, at a small live house club in Washington, D.C., met the Danoff couple. To be precise, they were a male-female unit, not yet married. Engaged but couldn't afford to wed because they had no money. Later, with the massive earnings from Country Roads, they got married. John Denver met the Danoffs, and that day, he had injured his thumb and couldn't perform live. He crashed at the Danoffs' place. Spent a fun evening, kind of an after party, drinking, when Mr. Danoff said, "Hey, I have a song I'm working on. Would you listen?" He played it. And Denver said, "That's cool. If you arrange it like this, tweak it like that," joining in. The three of them concocted Country Roads in just one night. It was released as a John Denver song in 1971. Instant massive hit. And what's used in Whisper of the Heart is this insertion song, Country Roads, with Olivia Newton-John, noted as the performer. Olivia Newton-John recorded it in 1973, 2 years later. After the original release, a cover version. Olivia Newton-John was a major pop singer, extremely famous for a while. But around 73 her popularity was, well, slumping a bit. People said, "Don't you have any other variations?" So Olivia Newton-John said, "I can sing country too," and put this cover on her album. At the time, people were like, Olivia Newton-John singing country, but she had heavily arranged it for herself. And the version used in Whisper of the Heart. What kind of arrangement? John Denver's original. Starts with banjo or guitar, some strings, and goes almost heaven, West Virginia, with the A melody. But the Olivia Newton-John version starts with female chorus, quite a large female chorus. Country Roads. Country Roads. Take Me Home opens with a grand chorus, which is flashy and cool. So the version used in Whisper of the Heart. What arrangement! It's Olivia Newton-John's flashy, cool version. It was probably easy to use because it's flashy, that's likely why they used it. And the lyrics, well, the text is small. You don't need to read every word, but the precise title is Take Me Home, Country Roads. That's the song. The most famous part is Country Roads. Take me home, to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Take me home, country roads. That's the chorus. Translated, it's to my hometown's road. Carry me home. To the place where I belong, West Virginia's Mother Mountain. Mountain Mama. Take me along the country road. That's the song. The opening line appears in Whisper of the Heart too. Almost heaven, West Virginia. West Virginia is heaven itself. It starts as a boast, but here's the thing. The Danoffs and John Denver who used this song had actually never been to West Virginia. They wrote about a place they'd never visited. Any countryside would have done. For example, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. But the Blue Ridge Mountains aren't in West Virginia. Not just absent, they're not even visible. Later, John Denver researched and found that at the very east edge of West Virginia, or maybe West Edge, if you go to the very edge, you can faintly see the Blue Ridge Mountains in the distance, which relieved him. As for the Shenandoah River, it's a long river, but it doesn't flow through West Virginia. He researched extensively, and on the map, it doesn't pass through West Virginia, but it does graze the very edge of West Virginia for about a 50-meter stretch. And here too, John Denver was relieved, that's the anecdote. So roughly, they wrote about places they'd never been as wonderful, and it became a huge hit, and now West Virginians love this song. These episodes are told in the movie Logan Lucky. When this song plays at the climax, it'll bring tears. It's that cool, please watch it. Available on Amazon Prime. Same with Tanda Istanbul, they sing about Istanbul without ever going there. Same kind of thing. And so, almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River, life is older, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Up to here, it's praising West Virginia. An age-old saying. Our cherished life is older than the forest trees, but younger than the mountains. Our daily life has grown like the breeze blowing through. That's the song. Then Country Roads Take Me Home enters the chorus again. From here it goes into the bridge. All my memories gathering around her. My memories gathering around her. Stories about her. Who is her? Mountain Mama. Stories about West Virginia's mountains. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Miner's lady, what's a miner? A coal miner from the mountain. It's a mining region. They mined coal there. There, the West Virginia mountains were like wives and watchful mothers to the miners. And stranger to blue water. She has never seen the blue ocean. West Virginia is essentially a landlocked state. So the West Virginians lived without ever seeing the ocean. That's what the song says. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. The mountains, the sky is always dim. And there, smoky, as if painted on, stand the dim, towering mountains. That's what it's saying. And misty taste of moonshine. Misty, a name for thin moonshine liquor. Misty taste might translate as thin taste, but. Moonshine is American slang for illegal homemade liquor. So drinking thin-tasting moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. It stings the eyes, brings tears. This means, well, in Country Roads they sing of West Virginia, but the West Virginia life that they supposedly want to return to isn't lovely at all. The miner's wife, Mountain Mama, has never seen the ocean. And life there means drinking moonshine, which stings the eyes and brings tears. But then again the chorus comes back, Country Roads, take me home. And you feel moved despite everything. This is the part used in Whisper of the Heart's opening. From here to here. But the real bridge is below this part. Something like I hear, well, if I just translate it, early in the morning I heard her voice. Listening to the radio, I knew how far from home I was. American radio is regional. Listen to it, and you know exactly where you are. Since the song was made at a Washington, D.C. club, the singer feels he's in Washington, D.C., the city. And in that city, the news is all about politics, a high cost of living in Washington. That kind of news. Then he thinks I was supposed to have been born in West Virginia. Why am I in this big city? He thinks this listening to the radio. And as he drives, more memories come flooding back. Yes, I should have gone home yesterday. I should have returned yesterday. Yesterday, that's how he sings. Then the chorus again, Country Roads, take me home. The song goes on. By the way, this is unrelated, but yesterday I discovered something. And went, oh. Comparing John Denver's version, Olivia Newton-John's version, and various other covers, there's a difference. Only John Denver's version has this brief female chorus line, Mama, take me home, Country Roads. It ends here, then take me home, Country Roads repeats too. 3 times, but only in John Denver's original. After take me home, a woman says now. The female chorus member, now, Country Roads. Meaning, take me to Country Roads, right. Now. The woman inserts that single now. What is it referring to? Mountain Mama. It means she is calling me. She's calling me, and I can hear her voice, the voice of the mountain. So she inserts that single now. But the Olivia Newton-John version and other artists covers I checked several, and none of them include this now, none in this part. Where it should be now, that line just isn't there. If you search YouTube for Country Road John Denver or Country Road Olivia Newton-John, you can hear them all. YouTube is convenient. Listen to the original at the end, take me home, female chorus, now. Country Roads, that's John Denver's version. Versus Olivia Newton-John's flashy version which doesn't have it. What I call the loaded version. Lots of female chorus piled on. Olivia Newton-John overdoes it. But the crucial now isn't in Olivia's version of John Denver's song. Compare them, please. I've been going on about the song for a while. Why am I dwelling on this song? Well, as we've discussed, I should have gone home yesterday. This city life isn't for me. I have to return to my original life. That's what the original says. But in Whisper of the Heart, Shizuku translates the lyrics herself. And the song that plays in full at the end has the opposite meaning. Reversed. Like Lily Vish. Like Liligo turning into something raw, completely opposite meaning. Miyazaki Hayao, when adapting source material to anime, always changes the content. Putting it bluntly, in a way that could be called source rape. Later, the original author would say things like, "I wanted my book to be a proper anime." Or like with Witch's delivery service or live-action film. Famous incidents. Same thing happened this time. The translated lyrics are completely different. This is the version Miyazaki supervised. Country road, this road, if I keep going, I feel it leads to that town, country road. Already that town is different. Alone, dreaming of living without fear. Different. But these differences are, well, since a middle schooler is supposedly translating it, that's fine. But by the end, country road, leading to that town. No matter what hardships, I never show tears. My pace quickens unconsciously to erase memories. Yes. It's a song about not looking back. Country road, even if this road leads home. I won't go, I can't go. Country road, I won't go. I deliberately won't go. Country road, tomorrow I'll be my usual self. Just for a moment, I felt like going home. But by tomorrow, that's gone. Back to my usual self. Want to go home, can't go home. Goodbye, country road. That's how it ends up. Truly the opposite. And now, when Japanese people think they know country road, they all remember this version. Everyone, well, thanks to Miyazaki, Ghibli, and Whisper of the Heart's overwhelming influence. Country road in Japan, only in Japan worldwide, is sung with the opposite meaning. It became a song of resolve to never look back. The actual translator wasn't Miyazaki. Miyazaki couldn't get it right. He couldn't translate it into a girl's words, he was struggling. So Suzuki Toshio commissioned his own daughter to do it, and she got the credit. This is Country Road. Japanese translation by Suzuki Mamiko. Currently a film producer. She's a member of the so-called Ghibli family. Suzuki Toshio really is a fan of family business. I think he's like a Sicilian mafia-type Japanese person. About this matter, Ashii Mamoru wrote a book the Ghibli no one talked about, and tore him apart pretty harshly. Why did he commission his own daughter? Ghibli's official books and research books give very pretty answers, but the truth is, at the time, his teenage daughter was somewhat estranged from Suzuki Toshio. Suzuki Toshio adored his daughter, was always trying to please her. But Mamiko-chan was giving him the cold shoulder. So he said, "Could you do this translation? I want to use it in a film." As a way to win her favor, and had her translate the lyrics, that's what Ashii Mamoru clearly stated. Anyway, in Miyazaki's translation it's want to go home but can't. Goodbye, country road. But in the original it's I've forgotten, but I should go back. My roots are here. I want to speculate on Miyazaki's psychology at the time. That's what I want to do today. Why Miyazaki and not Kondo Yoshifumi? Because Miyazaki planned this. Originally, why was this film made? Only Miyazaki insisted on adapting the shoujo manga Whisper of the Heart. To anime, wrote the screenplay himself, was deeply invested in this work. I see it as a kind of Miyazaki work. Also, in the Ghibli textbook, a Bunga Shunju official commentary book, Suzuki Toshio said this anime was an experiment to see if a Miyazaki anime could be made without Miyazaki. And he says the experiment succeeded. Not whether a Ghibli anime could be made without Miyazaki. Whether a Miyazaki anime could be made without him, that experiment succeeded. That's how strongly Miyazaki's influence shaped this work. Which is why I'm now talking about what Miyazaki was trying to do. Why did this happen? Originally, Miyazaki was on a path leading to this country road. Miyazaki Timeline Part 1, From Obscurity to Recognition. Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind was released. He was 43 at the time. Until then, no matter what anime he made, none were appreciated. Recognition began with Nausicaä. He set up his own office 2 horsepower at 43. Until then, with works like Lupin Cagliostro that flopped commercially, he was effectively shut out of the anime industry, by his own admission. From that state, recognition finally began. 2 horsepower, 2 people's worth of horsepower. That's why it's called that. He set up Studio Ghibli Incorporated, released Laputa. He was 45. But he couldn't keep all the Nausicaä profits to himself. I'll produce the live-action movie Yanagawa Stories. You've always wanted to make, Pakusan, Takahata, he said and invested. And Takahata burned through that entire fund in no time. In the resulting trouble, the Grave of the Fireflies project came up. Shinshosha would fund Grave of the Fireflies. And Takuma would also chip in, leading to the simultaneous release with Totoro. He was 47. This is Miyazaki's transition from obscurity to recognition. But here, Miyazaki started saying, I have nothing left to make. He started saying that. He told himself the triangle is complete. What's the triangle? He made Nausicaä, made Laputa, made Totoro. So, with Nausicaä, the long-desired fantasy. With Earth-Sea-like elements. With Laputa, a sci-fi adventure with a young boy. And with Totoro, a story set in Japan. With a young girl protagonist. All the things he'd long wanted to do done. Triangle complete. He realized he had nothing left. Then began Miyazaki Timeline Part 2, The Wandering Era. It really is a wandering era. A time when masterpieces were born. But he himself felt lost. He made Kiki's delivery service. He was 48 then. After that, he made the animators full-time employees. Then Takahata made only yesterday another huge financial loss. In response, Miyazaki made Porco Rosso. He was 51. Both films are basically settling accounts with their youth. Takahata graduated from Tokyo University's French Literature Department. A gathering of articulate, logical types. In Takahata's era, students didn't go to school to study. They learned revolutionary thought, engaged in social movements, became agitators stirring up workers and the masses, trying to bring revolution to Japan. That's what University of Tokyo students seriously believed at the time. That guy made only yesterday a story about an OL from the city, who returns to the countryside, reflects on herself, and considers trying farming. Meaning, late as it was, It was Takahata's way of settling accounts with his youthful social activism. And Miyazaki's Porco Rosso was created with revolutionary thought, settling his own accounts with his youthful social activism. He'd lost himself in revolutionary thought, fought, joined toy animation labor disputes. And what did he become through those battles? He betrayed his comrades. All the World War I pilots he fought alongside became sky pirates. And he became a bounty hunter who hunts down those sky pirates. But those who became sky pirates have lost their revolutionary thought. He alone is the crimson pig, that is, red ideology. Marxism, keeping that hidden in his heart, even being called a pig by others, he keeps living. That's the kind of anime he made. Both directors were settling youthful accounts. Real eccentrics. Making such things into anime. For details, see my individual commentary on each work. After this, the big thing for Miyazaki was the end of the Nausicaä manga serialization. The era when Miyazaki, said to hold ecological/back to nature thinking based on the anime version of Nausicaä, proved he wasn't. After that, Takahata made Palm Poco, another huge financial loss. Miyazaki ended up crying at the Palm Poco preview screening. Then comes Whisper of the Heart. Why was Whisper of the Heart born? Originally with Kiki, he wanted to create a new Ghibli. After completing the triangle and his desired projects. From here on, in his late 40s, he had to nurture successors. He thought he shouldn't keep stepping forward himself. So I'll step back to producer, just doing planning and screenplay. Doing planning and screenplay, but not letting young directors run with it. That's what he said, but with Kiki. He'd said all that, but ended up making Kiki himself from scratch. At that time, the girl in Kiki was originally supposed to be selfish, a flawed girl. Not the typical brave Miyazaki girl, he said. But somehow, when Kiki goes to the city, from the next day she's looking for things to do, becoming a motivated girl. Animator Kosaka Kitaro told Miyazaki to his face. In the end it's the same, and Miyazaki got furious. He was furious but couldn't argue back, so he went outside to smoke. Bullseye. He has to do something different, has to nurture young people. Has to do something different from usual. But he ended up doing the same thing. Frankly, he found Takahata's youthful accounting outdated. You can see this from Miyazaki's statements around the time of Only Yesterday and Porco Rosso. Around this time, there was a magazine called Comic Box. Does it still exist? A leftist manga information magazine. The editor-in-chief of this leftist magazine was very close with Miyazaki. He'd sneak past Suzuki Toshio's watch and visit Miyazaki late at night. And Miyazaki would let slip things he couldn't say in official Ghibli materials. On top of that, Studio Ghibli at the time was loose-lipped, meaning Suzuki Toshio didn't strictly check what info went out. It was an era before Ghibli official people existed. When Ghibli official people exist, on Suzuki Toshio's orders, anything inconvenient or image-damaging for Ghibli is thoroughly suppressed. Ashai Mamoru calls this Pravda, the only state newspaper in the old USSR. It only released information convenient for the Soviet Union. That kind of information control is what's called Pravda. In the era before Suzuki Toshio's Pravda was operational, the editor-in-chief of Comic Box and others made frequent visits to Ghibli and got various words from Miyazaki. About Takahata's film, it became a story about a girl returning to the countryside to farm. Miyazaki let slip that. He felt it was outdated. About Porco Rosso, same generation former Zen Kyoto activists. What does Ghibli's official material say about it? Why did he make Porco Rosso? For Japan's salaried workers, says the official line. Tired middle-aged men who, though uncool as middle-aged men, have a coolness within their uncoolness. That's the official Ghibli statement from Miyazaki. But the actual source of Miyazaki's statements was not today's Japanese middle-aged men. His former Zen Kyoto comrades who fought alongside him, who still maintain anti-establishment positions, going into media and other fields, fighting power on his behalf. When interviewed by Fusion Product or Comic Box, leftist publishers, Miyazaki said, Asahi Shimbun, NHK still have conscientious reporters and editors, and they monitor power. Compared to them, what am I? I'm currying favor with power, making anime. By this time, the NTD Ghibli relationship was developing. Mr. Yuji Saikaira, the chairman of NTV at the time, I think, he said for Takahata Isa or Miyazaki Hayao, I'll back them with whatever money it takes. Nippon TV essentially adopted them, massive backup. Backed by powerful patrons, making anime. For Miyazaki, this is what Porco Rosso represents. Revolutionary thought still in his heart, but ultimately he's an agent of power, making anime. That's me. That's what he was trying to express. Around this time, Takahata Isa released Palm Poco. Miyazaki cried at the preview screening. I explained the reason during my Palm Poco commentary. But here it is again. It's this. In the Tanuki Hayakiyaku, Parade of Demons scene, when the parade flows from left to right, Ghibli characters appear too. Kiki is flying. She's flying in the same direction as everyone else. But Porco from Porco Rosso and Totoro alone are flying in the opposite direction, right to left. What does this mean? Even back in the Kiki era, Miyazaki, like the Tanuki, was about to perish, but was still trying to make things faithful to their original ideology. But what is Porco Rosso? Just a backlash of self-justification. What is Totoro? Just return to the better fantasy world of the past. Another reactionary backlash. That's the criticism. Confronted with this through animation in the film, Miyazaki realized, that's exactly right. Compared to him, Takahata, the Tanuki who failed at revolution and end up killed. Takahata speaks honestly through that. And by showing Tanuki who survive shrewdly within human society, he speaks his real self. But Miyazaki only talks the talk. Former thinkers are still hidden inside the media, living lives. He says it but doesn't make works to back it up. But Takahata properly turned it into a work. Whether the work is interesting is another matter, but the ideology was consistent. Miyazaki ended up really crying. And then on top of that, this happened. Almost simultaneously with Palm Poco's release, Nausicaä ended. Nausicaä really left him empty. He entered an Anno Hideaki post-Evangelion state. He told his disciples, this time I'll really leave it to you on Kiki. But actually he intervened. Now, this time for real I'll leave the next one to you that becomes Whisper of the Heart. And we return to the song discussion in the opening. Country Road. Well, ahem. All right.
コンクリートロードでたくましく生きていくんだっていうですね、そういうふうな話にするわけですね。だから冒頭の英語歌詞は今こそ青春。
The reason Whisper of the Heart's opening starts with Country Road is.
じゃあなんでここでですね。
I'd forgotten, but I should go back. My roots are there. That's the only yesterday theme. Going to meet your true self again, the only yesterday theme. Teiko, the Tokyo OL who goes to the countryside and considers farming. This gets sung in the opening song. The distinction between countries. But the song sung in the ending, the one Miyazaki helped translate. Want to go home, can't go home. Won't go, can't go. Country Road. This is the ending of the manga version of Nausicaä. The manga version of Nausicaä, the anime version's premise was, people will eventually return to a normal land. Meaning, what is impurity? What are the Omu? They emit poison that kills humans, contaminates the world. But actually no. Deep beneath, there's a normal world. And there, all life will return one day, that's the hope. That was the theme of the anime film Nausicaä. But the manga version's theme is, Nausicaä and her people can't live in that pure world. Why? Because Nausicaä and her people have been genetically modified, just like the Omu. So they are creatures who can only survive in this poison world, and are part of the very mechanism that exists to restore the poison world to its pure original state. When the pure world arrives, the Omu, Nausicaä, and all humans of that era will perish. And in the crypt, pure genes are preserved, and from there, pure original humans will be born. Humans without our current poison. And Eden will be restored. That's the story. Manga Nausicaä destroys all that and declares, we will struggle and live in this dirty world. That's why the song says, want to go home but can't. Won't go, can't go, that declaration comes from Miyazaki, who created the original Nausicaä manga. Who completed that war/disaster narrative. That's why the film opens with the original Country Road. We have a place we should return to. What is it? West Virginia's countryside life. Mountain life, speaking those Nausicaä-style themes. But ultimately, we will. Well, live tough on this concrete road. That's how the story ends. So the opening lyrics. Well, why do they say on Country Road, let's go back to the countryside. Let's return to our former selves. Because they're switching the song into a love song. The song's meaning isn't go back to the countryside. Miyazaki's original reason for making this anime was, as written in the Ghibli textbook, can shoujo manga become anime? That's the theme. According to Miyazaki, shoujo manga anime doesn't exist. Shoujo manga stories and characters are just being made with Tezuka-style shounen manga sensibility. That's not it. What is shoujo manga? Frankly speaking, the pure feelings of humans within a world full of pretty lies, and the painfully sweet emotions of childhood. Those things can only be nurtured within a girl's tendency to deny or distort the world. That's Hayao's argument. And that's where Country Road comes in. What Country Road is doing in Whisper of the Heart is not go back to the countryside, back to nature. It's go back to the childhood of your heart. Go back to your heart's childhood and dig up those painful longings within you. And in the film's ending, you can never return to those feelings. You can't return to that childhood-style pure longing or innocent love anymore. But our current selves live with that knowledge. That's why at the end Shizuku, let's get married. And we can laugh at our flustered heroes. Laugh at them, find them embarrassing. But also feel this is good, that's the right way to view it. The film slowly builds toward making you feel that way. At first, modern viewers think this is just a typical rom-com. This is just middle school love stuff. But gradually, they're brainwashed by Whisper of the Heart, and that's embarrassing. But I love it. That's Country Road. Because we ourselves can't return to that era, don't even want to. In the anime we recover that heart for one more moment. Even briefly thinking that's nice, that's the story. So Whisper of the Heart's Country Road is a cheering song for Shizuku and others who live tough on Concrete Road. And at the same time, it's a counter-argument to Pom Poko. A proper response to Pom Poko, you could say. Living tough in this world, is that enough? No, the point is, we're living with these feelings. Just as Porco Rosso says, my heart still holds red revolutionary thought. Country Road says, still carrying. The longings and resentment toward the world we felt as children, while we keep living. Takahata sings the antithesis to society. And Miyazaki sings the antithesis and affirmation of what's in his own heart. The contrast between them is interesting. Well then, thanks for watching. That's it for today's free portion. Whisper of the Heart. I focused just on the song. For today's commentary. Yes, thanks for watching. That's it for today's video. Today, as upgrade information, I'll introduce a comment from a seminar member. Pen name. Oh, Shuichi-san. Comment from April 2nd, about a month ago. Director Takahata's only yesterday Pom Poko. My neighbors the Yamadas, the theme is anti-fantasy. A denial of Miyazaki-style fantasy. Even back then Maniacs talked about it, and director Miyazaki himself said as much. This is O's Shuichi-san's comment. After Pom Poko, the next Ghibli film, Whisper of the Heart, opens with the same Tama Hill's overlook of Shinjuku skyscrapers seen at the end of Pom Poko, and stars